Hey guys, Kylo here. So what a lovely day we've been blessed with today in North Louisiana. It is raining. It was sleeting this morning. The ground's too warm for it to freeze. But I got to fly several times this week, so I'm not like, hard up for flying. I just wanted to kind of come on here and talk about, I guess, some other aspects to video making. It wouldn't be a Kylo video without him forgetting to put on his seatbelt, now would it? Let's do that before it starts really beeping at me. This thing gets angry if you don't buckle up. So one of the things about making videos that really hasn't come up until recently, I believe when Anthony Vella showed up, like, yeah, this really nice camera. I don't know what it is. I don't know that much about cameras. I turn the things on, I hit the record button, and I point them at stuff and talk. That's kind of all I really know about photography. I decided to maybe try to up my game a little bit, like on the technology side of the video making. Obviously, it's still going to be the same crudo North Louisiana stuff that you've been getting all along. But I bought myself a new camera. Now, I used some money from the Patreon donations, of course. That's what it's there for, is to increase the value of this channel. But I also put a lot of my own money into this, and I got like what I think is a pretty nice setup, like a new camera, and it's showing up today. Of course, the worst weather day we've had in a while. I guess I'll take some inside pictures, huh? But no, I've got like a nice full frame mirrorless camera. I bought a couple of lenses to go with it, like a pretty hefty investment as far as camera gear goes, is what I was fixing to say. What I was trying to say is as far as camera gear goes, it's a pretty substantial investment. But at this point, I've been making videos like steadily for 3 years, and it's something that I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I've got the GoPro, I've got the camcorder, but I got something that I could really get like one of my favorite things to do is film birds. If you're a watcher of the channel, you know that I do a lot of bird photography, if you call it that. I mean, again, I'm just pointing this thing at it, zooming in and trying to keep the dang thing in frame. I got something that maybe can give me a little better image quality for that. Just something that I want personally. It's not like the YouTube channel is gonna do a lot better if I start putting out some high definition 4K video shots of nature and flying and my ugly mug. But personally, I'd like to capture, higher quality images, I guess. Better video. We'll see how it works, man. It may be a total bust. I may still suck at life and end up selling the thing on eBay for a loss. But for today, it's fresh. It's showing up on the UPS truck. I hope it shows up on the UPS truck. Boy, what a kick in the nuts it would be if they like lost it or something. Well, I guess there are buyer protections in place. So yeah, I'm on my way to town to get that, and I'll show you what's up when I get it.
Funky fella.
Alright guys, so I got the box. I've only opened it to confirm the contents. I've actually not unboxed it yet. This is a Sony Alpha 7 III. Uh-oh, it's not taped up. That means somebody's probably been in the box already. It was an eBay purchase. It was discounted. It seems to be an instruction manual. Oh, that's the heavy part. And then there's a battery, camera strap, charger. All right, all that stuff's good and dandy. I'm just gonna open it now and go ahead and get it charging, right? So yeah, it's my first nice camera here. Okay, so no lens? I'm just kidding. It came with a lens, and then I've got, boy, do I have a lens. Let me show you what this SOB looks like. The box here. Look at this big thing. That's what she said. Huge damn lens. Wow, it's heavy too. You take this camera and put it with this lens, and I should be able to photograph like individual feathers in flight. I don't know, we'll see. There's probably some skill involved that I don't yet have. I just more or less wanted to make sure it was here. Go ahead and plug the camera up to a charger. Maybe this will work. Just a real quick Amazon versus eBay. This camera was $1,600 on eBay. They're over $2,000 on Amazon, so I saved myself $400 by getting this. It may not be a, I mean, the place seemed pretty reputable. How does the battery go in? Okay, there's the connections. I see, it goes in just like that. Usually when you charge something, there's some kind of charging light that comes on. Again, I've not investigated this. Oh yeah, there's a tiny little light. I see it now. It says CHG, so I'm guessing we're charging.
I thought you were Kevin Edwards, man.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Some guy thought it was somebody else. Yeah. Oh, side note. I bought this with my own money. They didn't sponsor this video, but this Rain energy drink, orange dreamsicle flavor, like the light of heaven shines down on a rainy day in Louisiana, because this is good. So good. I spilled about half of it whenever I was ripping open the boxes to see what was in there. So I'm not gonna get the full effect of a 24-ounce energy drink, but I'm gonna get about 2/3 of it. We'll see how jacked up I get. Let's go home and do a proper, like, first time guy ever uses a high-end camera video, and we'll try it like that. I know it's not a paramotor video. Sorry, there's no paramotor action happening today, but I'm off. The laundry is done. The repairs are made, and I got new toys to fuck around with. I got new toys to play with. I'm trying to curb the language, guys. I'm really trying to curb the language. It's difficult. It's a difficult task. Let's go home. You know, I've got this sneaking suspicion that just buying a bunch of high quality camera gear is not enough. You know, this is the same thing like if you know, what paramotor do you buy? What wing do you get to fly? I think it's got more to do with the amount of time that you invest. The saying, it's more the Indian, not the arrow. I believe that goes for everything, you know, everything. Unless you're talking about like diamonds or jewelry, unless you're making jewelry, again, it goes right back to that. If you're just wearing jewelry, obviously it's just about the jewelry. But if you're like an artisan, if you're making something, it's more about the skill set that you possess and not what you use to demonstrate that skill set. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the best video maker out there. In fact, by far, I'm probably near the bottom of the pile as far as how to make a video, what to do to make a video. I mean, I'm self-taught. I learned things from other people. Obviously, that's a big part of learning is being able to learn things from other people, from teachers, from mentors, from peers. At the same time, I'm self-taught. You know, everything that I learned, I never went to a school to learn how to make videos. It's something I've always thought about, and you know, when presented with the tools to do it, I just started doing it. And that's the way that I've always done it. And so I guess I'm gonna do the same thing like with the camera stuff here. I watched a few videos about, you know, cameras and price versus quality. One thing that has always interested me, and one of the reasons that I got the camera that I did, was I'm an astronomer. I don't know if you know that about me, because obviously this is a paramotor YouTube channel. And if I'm even putting this video on YouTube, it's gonna go on my channel, of course, and not all my videos are paramotor related. I try to put that up front, you know, so that if you're not into that, you could just skip or wait for the next one. But I've been an astronomer since way back. I've always been a sky gazer, a star watcher, a nocturnal animal, so to speak. And I've always looked up to the heavens, just in wonder and awe. And the first time I ever looked up with a set of binoculars into the darkest place that I could find, in a dark valley in the mountains of Arkansas while on a camping trip 30 years ago, I saw things that I didn't believe. Like, what? I could see that with just a little pair of cheap binoculars? So I got a nicer pair of binoculars and I started exploring the universe. That led to a telescope, and I bought a telescope. But something that I've never delved into that I wanted kind of the option to do is astrophotography. Now, I ain't talking about taking pictures that are gonna end up in a magazine, but just to go out and take photographs of the sky, of the stars. This camera has what they call a full frame sensor, and that will allow me to gather as much light as possible into the camera sensor, and the low light capabilities are gonna far exceed anything I could do with this camcorder or a cell phone. Although they have cell phones now that can do that for the same money. I bought a nice camera that gives me other options as well. I could trade the lenses out to get some different capabilities for almost the same amount of money. Even though I can't make a telephone call from the camera, I've got a phone already that works pretty good. For photography, I wanted a nice camera. So that was one of the reasons that led to this decision. Like, if I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna get something that kind of does everything I'm curious about. And that way I've got the equipment covered, and then it's more about being a good Indian. You know, learning how to operate, learning how to make the changes, the adjustments, I don't even know what I'm trying to describe here, because it's not something that I've studied on a lot. Again, I did a few nights worth of research. Obviously there are some that are much better than this, but you're gonna pay a lot more money. And I didn't feel like investing a lot more money, because this is already a lot of money. This is a shit ton of money worth of camera gear here. Oh, I just cussed. Dang it. I'll beep it out. I'm gonna beep it out. But I'm home, and let's take this stuff inside and see what we're working with here. I'm awful curious to see what this thing does in real life. Obviously, a YouTube video you can watch about things, and you're only gonna get so much out of that. Turn this off and see if the audio improves. Yeah, what a lovely day in North Louisiana today. I think the high is somewhere in the 30s, not enough to freeze. I like it better, actually, if it just frozen solid. This cold and wet, it just sucks. You know, I really feel for, my brethren, you guys that live into the northern latitudes and deal with this stuff way more than we do. Snow piled up, having to shovel snow. That's something I've never done in my life. I've never touched a snow shovel. Just a little tangent here. When I was around 12 years old, the first time I ever saw any substantial accumulation of snow was on a church ski trip to Colorado. We went to Winter Park with the church group on a ski trip. It was 3-4 days of skiing, I can't remember. When we got there, I was just amazed. I was like, there's snow 7 feet deep everywhere. It's piled on the side of the roads. You can have snowball fights. You can make snowmen. We started wandering through the town, and I would go into various gift shops, and I would say, wow, you guys, you've got all this snow out there. It's so exciting. And people were giving me the dirtiest looks. After about 3 or 4 people that I shared my excitement with, because let's face it, I'm a sharer. Even at 12 years old, I was like, hey, store clerk, there's so much snow out there. I bet you just love this. It hit me when a guy in one of the shops, or maybe it was an arcade, he says, I'm guessing that you've never shoveled snow a day in your life. With a frown, a scowl on his face. And then it hit me, like, my 12-year-old soul, came down a notch, because I realized the people who live there have to move that stuff out of the way. And it becomes quite the hassle when that much of it falls all the time. And so I realized, my enjoyment was another person's pain. Ever since then, I've looked at snow with a completely different set of eyes. And I'm sorry for you guys that have to do that. On the other side of that coin, you guys have never felt 100 degrees, 95% humidity, 200-foot elevation. Those conditions can be fatal. You could literally die within an hour doing anything in those conditions. So that's the other side of that coin. We do get that here, and that becomes a hassle by itself. When it's 80 degrees and you guys are like, oh, it's so hot out here today. No, you don't know heat. I had a man from Phoenix, Justin, you know who you are if you're watching. It was 115 degrees when he left Phoenix, Arizona, came down here to Louisiana. It was about 94 and high humidity, and it almost did him in. He had to stop for a couple of days and just acclimate. He said Phoenix had nothing on North Louisiana, nothing at all. That this truly was heat that he had never experienced. Yeah. So now that we've talked about both ends of extreme weather conditions and a little bit of Kylo history, let's go inside and dig into these cameras and lenses and see what we're cooking with here. So yeah, here it is, about 2 months later. I'm not gonna put you through the anguish of watching me try to learn this camera. Fuck. Yeah, I know. But I finally figured it out. It was probably easier to learn to fly the space shuttle than it was to operate this newfangled camera. There are so many settings and options and just things to learn about photography when you talk about the manual settings and all. But I think I've got at least enough of it figured out to navigate my way through some stuff. Yeah, lovely weather we're having. How about this stuff? Looks like coronavirus is raining down from the sky. I'm gonna go buy some gasoline and get a haircut. The normal societal things. I'm not hoarding anything. Got about 8 rolls of shit tickets remaining. But I've learned to figure out the camera. I hope it brings some level of increased quality. God, that's loud. Some level of increased quality to the channel. Yeah, I'm not using it right now. I'm on the regular old camcorder. There's just something about the convenience of this camcorder. I'm never gonna trade it in until something better comes out. I've not found anything yet. But yeah, I am gonna try some higher quality glass and we'll see where it goes from there. I hope you keep enjoying the videos. I promise I've got some paramotor stuff coming. It can't rain forever. It's gotta stop at some point. Then I'll mow, then I'll start flying again. So until then, I hope you enjoy your quarantine, and much love, everybody. Kyle out.